Okay, so I've been on a bit of a Siskel and Ebert kick as of late. Siskel and Ebert for me is the gold standard of film criticism. Two men who had a clear passion for film, to the point that they would exchange pointed barbs with each other. Also, the Super Mario Bros. Movie recently released mixed reviews on Rotten Tomatoes from critics with a massively positive audience score. The Super Mario Bros. Movie went on to become a record-breaking box office smash hit in only 2 weeks, thus bringing up the debate of who was right, the critics or the audience. I'd like to direct your attention to the 1993 Burt Reynolds film Cop and a Half. At the time, Reynolds was mostly known for his volatile relationship with Lonnie Anderson and not his 1970s heyday. The film was also directed by a post-Fonzie Henry Winkler and has a score by Alan Silvestri.
Avengers!
Yes, that Alan Silvestri. It's not a particularly good movie by any means, but it has its moments. The film was of course savaged by critics. But one man had the brass balls to praise this critically maligned film on syndicated television.
Cop and a Half is not any kind of a masterpiece, but on the other hand, it's not dumb and it's not boring either.
Roger Ebert stood up for this film while it was getting dunked on, thus giving the world one of the all-time great Siskel and Ebert bites that bled into both their worst list in 1993 and their review for Broken Arrow.
Wow, where's your big red suit and beard, Santa? You just gave them a gift.
But Ebert stood firm on his opinion of the film. As Siskel named Cop and a Half his worst film in 1993, Ebert got petty and named Carnosaur, the Roger Corman-produced dinosaur flick, his pick for the worst film in 1993, solely because Siskel liked it.
My worst film in 1993, to which you gave thumbs up, is Carnosaur, an all but incoherent dinosaur thriller that was rushed into release to cash in on the advanced publicity for Jurassic Park.
Which leads to this challenge brought up by Gene Siskel.
We'll have a double bill. People can go to see Cop and a Half, Roger Ebert recommending it, or Carnosaur, a funky, offbeat, wild science fiction film. Which one will they like best?
You described that double bill, giving your own movie all of the wonderful adjectives and lying.
Turns out, Ebert prevailed.
Finish him! Ebert wins.
Which leads us to the Super Mario Bros. Movie's negative critical reviews. One of the reasons why I liked Roger Ebert was that he was able to see things from multiple perspectives. He was never quite film good or film bad, but rather looked at the overall parts of a film. Even when I disagreed with him, I understood where he came from. I could see why Ebert liked Cop and a Half. I haven't seen this film in 30 years, but it's a perfectly harmless wish fulfillment movie for kids. That's my boy, this ain't. He always tried to see things from the perspective of the paying moviegoer. He wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, an exploitation flick produced and directed by Russ Meyer. Roger Ebert, quite literally, has skin in the game. So he truly has a passion for film, even if Beyond the Valley of the Dolls wasn't respected in its time. And you'll never guess what Gene Siskel gave it. Nowadays, you have film critics who don't look at the overall parts of a film and choose to decide film good or film bad. Most of the time, you have film critics who go in with an agenda because they may not like the lead actor or actress, they may inject their politics into the film at hand, or they may even have a vendetta against the filmmaker. I always avoid looking at reviews before watching a film, but I know what film I'm getting into with something called the Super Mario Bros. Movie, a film made by Illumination Entertainment and distributed by Universal Pictures, with the former who created your aunt's favorite out-of-context character memes, and the latter having a lot riding on this because they have a Nintendo theme park at Universal Studios they just opened earlier this year. Yet I've already seen so many pretentious takes. The glib literalism with which it applies cinematic narrative to video games' abstractions can't hold a candle to the wrenching pathos and self-discovery of a night on the track with real-life loved ones in Mario and his original medium. Justice for Bob Hoskins. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is a narrative failure. There's little to no emotional connection between the characters and their plight, motivations, and ultimate objectives. This isn't a movie, it's a checklist of fan expectations. It's hard to demand that much from a Mario Bros. Film, but when its source material has been historically devoid of plot, but shouldn't we be allowed to demand a little more than mere competency? It's the laziest possible version of a Mario movie, and for most viewers, young and old, that'll be totally acceptable. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is super nostalgic, but not super fun. Granted, I haven't regularly played home video games since NBA Jam circa 1995. I've found myself wanting more as if I was only getting part of the experience, but the Super Mario Bros. Movie is not intended to work in the same way that conventional films do. It's not about cinematic enjoyment, it's about expanding a brand. Oh, we saved the most pretentious take for last. But there was exactly one person who inspired this very video essay. So let's take a look specifically at this god-awful tweet from William Bibiani, a man who got to see this film for free. The audience score is kinder than the critic score. Yes, it's a film critic's job to have high standards. A lot of people are happy to eat at McDonald's, but if your local food critics say it was a 5-star dining experience, they'd be pretty suspect. Enjoy your McDonald's, you peasants. Go fuck yourself, asshole! This is no longer the most pretentious film Twitter tweet I've ever seen. There are VFX artists literally working 24/7 in the hopes that their VFX studio doesn't get shuttered for losing a key client. But yet you want to make your distaste for people who pay their hard-earned money to take their children to a film for 2 hours known. We are in the midst of post-pandemic inflation. General audiences are going to flock to the IP that is instantly recognizable. Believe me, I want people to flock to films like The Northman or Air. But go fuck yourself with that McDonald's comparison. Gee, I wonder if he has a vendetta against a certain actor that appears in this film. If you're a film critic and you go into a film with your mind made up, you're not a good film critic. Even with films like Music or He's All That, I went into those with an open mind. Would Siskel and or Ebert have liked the Super Mario Bros. Movie? Probably not. But you want to know who did? Ebert's other partner, Richard Roper. At least they would have tried to look at it objectively and not come from a place of hate. Hell, let's take a look at Siskel and Ebert's review of Super Mario Bros. 1993.
The timing would have been right with this explosion in infotech or whatever you want to call it, that the computers and all that. Kids are very sophisticated now, and if you could mirror that in some way, you could be a big bonanza. This film doesn't even try.
What this movie shows is that it's a lot harder to make a high-tech movie like this than you would think.
Roger Ebert famously stated later in life that he didn't consider video games art. Siskel even acknowledged the potential for video game movies in this review. However, both Siskel and Ebert looked at this film objectively, with Siskel even stating that the Goombas were, quote, cute, unquote. Roger Ebert didn't go on an anti-Nintendo crusade. He looked at it purely as a film, with both of them stating what is the audience for this film. And that is how you objectively review a film.
Roger Ebert once said, "I believe empathy is the most essential quality of civilization."
On April 4th, 2013, Roger Ebert passed away after a valiant battle with cancer. I just realized that I started writing this 4 days after the 10th anniversary of Roger Ebert's passing. Roger Ebert is a film critic that every film critic should aspire to be. His life and legacy will inspire many film lovers for years to come. So it's only fitting that I close this video essay made because I completely disagreed with the critical consensus of a film based on Nintendo's most popular IP, with a quote from Roger Ebert's final review of the Terrence Malick film, To the Wonder. Be sure to like, comment, share, spread the word New Realms Media. Follow me on all my socials at New Realms Media. And until then...
Look in the camera and say, I was wrong about Cop and a Half. It wasn't a very good movie. Burt Reynolds.
No, I won't do that.